Uh, Welcome to my 15 minutes live. I'm just up from a nap. I don't think it was a power nap because my brain's still half asleep. I've got my energy drink just to give me a bit of a kick. It has been a hectic week for me, and I guess my body's just tired. There's so much happening, or so much happened this week that's still continuing, and I guess I'm just a bit tired, so I needed that nap. I've been having some issues recording my 15 minutes, so I think it's 2 weeks since I did my last recording. So just a whole lot of problems getting the recordings done. I've been having some issues with my phones, and yeah, I did a number of recordings and it just wasn't proper. It wasn't good enough to post because it's just some issues I've been having with making these recordings. So yeah, life is full of problems. Life is full of issues, uh, and I was thinking that even if you plan things out and you work it out, you plan it out carefully, you have a step-by-step a procedure, a guide in how you're going to do things, and you think about the difficulties that you could be experiencing. You think about what could go wrong, and even if you plan it out, you still find that life has got a lot of surprises. Life has got a lot of curveballs that you have to deal with. And I was just thinking about what happened in the past 2 weeks, things that I had to do. And just today, earlier today, I was up early and I took the contractors to do some work for me while they were busy with work. And I just checked on them, and I had a plumber out to go do some stuff for me. And I had to fetch my bakkie from my brother just to get a geyser because I have to have a geyser replaced. And just popping in by him, so he's busy with some paving, and just popping in by him, and he's struggling. He hired a compactor and got there. They were struggling to get the compactor started, get the compactor going, and it just hit me like life is just full of barriers. Life is just full of hurdles. And not getting the compactor started is delaying the whole job. So he's got guys on site wanting to do the job, and everything is now standing still because this compactor won't start. And I guess in his planning, he didn't plan for the compactor not starting. It's just one of those things that life throws at you. And I'm thinking about the past 2 weeks. If I just think about what happened with me and not being able to record. So yeah, as I said in my earlier videos, I used to do the recordings on my Samsung device, and I use this wired microphone, and the microphone just picks up static on the Samsung device. And I switched over to an alternate device, my BlackBerry Passport. And making the recordings, I find like 10 or 11 or 12 minutes into recording, something just goes wrong. There's just a glitch in the recording, and with the glitch, then the video and the audio is out of sync. And that has really been problematic, and I haven't been able to resolve this problem. So I'm hoping I'm not getting that on this recording today. So yes, a lot of things happening, a lot of barriers in life, a lot of surprises, a lot of curveballs. And I'm just thinking like, why is it not possible for things to just go smooth? Why can't things just go smooth? You set up to record a 15-minute video. Why can't it just work? Why must there always be issues? I'm reminded about 2 weeks ago, on a Friday, my son and I returned from work, so we wanted to do the back brakes on my vehicle, and I bought the brake pads, and I had the tools, I've got everything, and we were off work early on a Friday, and we pulled in the yard, and we had about 2.5 hours before it's dark, and we said, okay, let's not wait for the Saturday, let's do the brakes now. It's about a 30-minute job. I mean, we've got everything, and we took the tools out. We had the car in the shade, and I was about to jack the vehicle, and as we were jacking the vehicle, I asked him to loosen the nuts on the wheels, and boom, we couldn't find the lock nut. Now, we did the front brakes a week ago. We used the lock nut to tie the wheels, and the lock nut normally goes in the boot of the vehicle. There's a compartment where you keep the lock nut, and we couldn't find the lock nut. So we went through the tools, we went through the garage, we couldn't find the lock nut, and we scrubbed the entire house, and the lock nut is just nowhere to be found. So I guess we were negligent. Possibly when we finished the job, I don't know what we did with the lock nut. But then once again, we planned to do a job, and then a whole lot of barriers, showstoppers. So the next day I thought, okay, fine, the lock nut is gone. Let me go to BMW the next day, the Saturday morning, and let me go get a lock nut. So I found BMW the Saturday morning, and they told me, well, we can't determine the lock nut based on your vehicle's VIN number. You have to bring the vehicle, and we have to match a lock nut to your vehicle. Now, apparently, there's a number of variants for my model. I don't know how many variables. There's a number of them. So this is probably for security purposes. So my model has got a number of variants, and they have to test each of the variants to find a match. So I went there, took the vehicle, and the guy at parts behind the counter, he takes out this case with a number of nuts, and off we go to the car, and we test each one of them. So he puts in a few, and finally he gets to a 32, and he says, okay, this one fits, and yeah, let's go back and let's do the order. So we go back, we do the order, and the system shows that they don't have a 32 in stock. Another barrier. So he says, well, I don't have a 32 in stock. We'll have to order it. It'll be here next week Tuesday. So you can pay for it, and then you can just collect it next week Tuesday. Okay, cool. Another issue in life. Let me not fight it. Let me pay, let me order it. And as I'm doing the order, one of the mechanics or the technicians or the technical guys says to this guy, okay, so you've got the sample, you matched the sample. Why don't you give me the sample, or let me remove the 2 lock nuts, because each of the wheels have got one of those lock nuts, and the rest of the nuts are normal, a normal fit for a wheel spanner. So he says, let me remove the lock nuts for him with the sample, and then at least he can go home and he can remove the rest of the nuts with his wheel spanner, and at least he'll be able to do the job. And awesome, we didn't think about, both me and this guy didn't think about that. So clearly this guy is a problem solver, right? So we didn't think about it. So I was very happy that, okay, cool, this is awesome. We didn't think about that there. So out we go, and he brings the wheel spanner, and we pop the lock nut in, and he turns it with the wheel spanner, and it's stripped. And he's like, oh shit, this is not the right size. When you put it in with your hand and you wiggle it, it feels like it has a grip, but it's not the right size. So, oh shit, okay, this is not the right size. So we go back, we bring the case with the number of variables, and we go through, we test, and finally we match a 36. So we went from a 32 to a 36. So he pushes the 36 in there, and he turns it and he removes the 2 lock nuts for me on both wheels. So we go back, he tells the guy like, okay, you had it wrong, it's a 36, blah, 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 blah. Can you change his order to a 36 so that when he picks up the correct nut? And the guy says, okay, he changes the order, the price is the same. And he says, oh, hold on, but we have a 36 in stock. And oh, cool, so this worked out, it worked out okay, because now he's got the 36 in stock, despite the fact that the lock nuts has been removed. He's got the 36, so it basically saves me a trip back on Tuesday. Fine, he gives me the 36, and off I go, and I do the job. So yes, so in that scenario, we had both a drawback, that the nut wasn't in stock, the 32 wasn't in stock, but then also things worked in my favor, where we were able to match the correct one, and it was a 36. So yes, so there was both a problem and a drawback, and there was a bit of luck that we were able to find the correct lock nut. So yes, that's how life is. And I kind of thought about the scenario, and I thought, okay, life is like that. At times you have drawbacks, you have problems, you have issues that you have to deal with, and these issues are not always created by yourself. Yes, we as humans are sometimes the results of our own issues. We cause a lot of problems for ourselves, and the decisions we make the wrong decisions. Sometimes we are idiots and we just do the wrong thing, or we just do things that will cause further problems. And even though we know that this may cause a problem in the long run, we still choose to make that decision. And I don't know why we are like that there. It's like buying a cheap product. You are faced with a cheap piece of crap product versus a quality product. So this is going to cost me more, but what am I going to do? I'm going to buy this cheap product that's only going to last me for one job, or I'm going to buy the quality product that's going to last me for a lifetime. And sometimes we choose to buy the cheap product, and sometimes buying cheap costs us more in the long run. We know it. We learn, or we have experienced it before, but we don't learn from it. And sometimes we still make that poor choice. And that's just the way we are. And sometimes our problems are caused by other people. We do the right thing. We at least try to do the right thing. And then you find that other people are causing the problem. And sometimes the problem just pops up by itself. But sometimes we also have a stroke of luck. Life has also got a stroke of luck. While some people might say that a man makes his own luck, then others say, like, sometimes luck is just on your side. You just have a stroke of luck. I don't know what the right thing is. I honestly believe that we are in control of the universe. We are in control of our own situation. So I think a man does make his own luck. But also I know there's a portion in life that just counts in your favor. And yeah, so I think it's a bit of both. I don't know. So yeah, and I'm just thinking, like, I wanted to show you something else. This is a gimbal that I bought because I don't want to always record in this room. I thought I'd step outside sometimes to make some recording. So this is a stabilizer. And even with this, I thought this was the answer to my problem, but I find that recording with the gimbal is great for image stabilization, but because I have this microphone, so the end of the gimbal, the phone sits against the edge of the gimbal, so it blocks the microphone from it blocks the microphone port, so I can't use the microphone with the gimbal. Once again, another problem. So, and if I swap the phone around, then the camera is behind one of the arms of the gimbal. So another issue that I have to deal with. But wrapping up, I see we're already at 15 minutes. The time goes so fast. Life is like a snakes and ladders. I don't know if you guys know the board game Snakes and Ladders, but life is like snakes and ladders. And I see the ladders as your lucky breaks in life. If you move your piece on the board and you get to a ladder and then it pushes you up in life, I see that as the lucky breaks in life. And then sometimes you get to a snake, the snake bites you and it just pushes you down. So those are the drawbacks, those are the issues in life that we have to deal with. And you have both these lucky breaks and the issues that you have to deal with, the setbacks in life on the board. And you can possibly think about rolling the dice and the number on the dice to be your effort. That could resemble the effort that you put into life. Sometimes you throw a double six and then you move up 12 spaces. Sometimes you put a little effort into it and you could be throwing a 3 on the dice and you only move 3 spaces. So the more effort you put into life, the more it will propel you, and vice versa. So yeah, that's my 15 minutes. I'd like to talk a bit more. We're at 16 minutes already. Thank you for watching and goodbye.